Hi everybody.
Hi everybody.
It's Tobin and Lorina back to share with our desire to inspire.
Yes.
As Lorina just said. I really love that.
Desire to inspire, and today we're exploring the question, what is it that helps us keep our love growing, evolving, better and better over
like
the
ever
years?
blossoming, ever blooming kind of love that we share. We asked a couple friends, what would you want us to talk about if you could have us talk about anything? And both the people we asked were like, oh, how do you have this love that just seems to keep getting better and better and better, and you guys just keep shining brighter and brighter? And before that, Lorina and I had been saying, what should we talk about? And I was like, God, well, this sex life that we have just is off the charts, and it just keeps getting better. How does that happen?
Yeah. Honestly, when we first started connecting, I didn't really like Tobin's touch.
Yeah. Luckily, other people did. Still keeping my ego intact by reminding myself of all the people who do love my touch. But Lorina is really high level.
I'm a touch connoisseur.
Touch connoisseur.
I'm a touch connoisseur. So
I was not as deeply embodied when we first met.
Right.
And it has actually been the process of our loving and our being together, and also our commitment to our own process.
Personal evolution. Growth and healing.
And somehow the combination of all that has created an alchemy where we not only feel more love and sweetness and adoration, and I see Lorina as becoming, just see her beauty more and more. I see her as more and more beautiful all the time. And the quality of our touch and our sensuality just keeps exponentially getting better and better. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
It's really, really, really beautiful.
He's got wood here. He's got some wood here. We're going to knock on it.
A Hawaiian wood ring that I wear for just such occasions. So we wanted to explore, like, why is that? How is that possible?
And I don't think it's a subject that can be exhaustively explained or unpacked in our under 10-minute video here. We're actually going to do an evening next month in the middle of November. It's an epic love evening, and we'll be exploring that subject even more then. But today we wanted to talk about the practice, the value we have in our relationship where we push our edges. Play at our edges, actually, is more accurate.
Live at our edges, and just don't let the fear, I guess the edge is our fears, right? Edges are fears, or places where you feel scared, or you feel constricted or contracted, or in some way on your vulnerable edge. And you and I, from very early on, we committed to just saying yes to whatever was true to us and living into that.
And this practice of transparency, that's a big edge, I think, in a lot of relationships that create this kind of, you could be together physically, have a mortgage together, but there's this ever-growing distance that can happen in relationships, I think, because there's this feeling of like, oh, we're so bonded, I need to hide parts of myself in order to maintain the connection.
Right.
Whereas on our relationship, we've consistently we'll name and say things that might not necessarily feel all that, what's the word?
Compatible with the other person's desires. Just scary stuff, like, I want to go live there, I want to go explore an attraction I have to somebody else, or I need to be this way in my life. And we've since we met many times, and that's created these challenging cauldrons. And I think we explored this, we touched on this a little bit in one of our last videos. It puts us up against interpersonal challenge. It becomes like a dynamic that is not necessarily just, oh, it's all perfect, it's all wonderful.
I'm remembering this one time, Tobin was essentially falling in love with another woman, and It was not what my ego mind wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But I was willing to play the edge. And I said at the time, it's like, I don't think this is what I want, to be in relationship with you as you're in deep relationship, partnership with another.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to give it a month
Yeah.
to just like hang out at the edge and see if I can really hang out there and show up, and if it really matches what my mind says, I don't want it, but like maybe my heart and body can really show up for it.
Right. And you did that in a way where you didn't abandon yourself. You weren't just overriding. You were listening really closely, and I was doing the same, and we were in really close dialogue. And I was listening, God, do I really need to explore this other thing? Because I don't want to threaten what I have with Lorina because it's so amazing. But I was getting a full yes to this other experience and saying, okay. So we both, just in our own ways, together and individually, showed up in that with, what would you say were the key ingredients? Like the willingness to burn emotionally,
Right.
consciously, like really deep
Yeah.
feeling, willingness to be authentic, share, dive into the underbelly of these raw, vulnerable emotions, the scary stuff, the painful stuff. And to do our work there.
Yeah. And in fact, talking about this edge piece, I was, I think one piece that really snapped me out of being like, I was kind of feeling betrayed and resentful and frozen for a while. And I gave myself half an hour of doing this practice where I was dancing, and I was literally like, I was dancing on the deck, on this deck of Harbin, and I would let my body kind of tilt almost where it was about to fall, and then I would recover and like catch myself. And I kept on doing that. I kept on like literally finding my edge where I felt like I was about to fall physically, and then catching myself and finding my own feet.
Yeah.
And I did this practice for like half an hour, and at the end of it, I'm like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I could be here. I can play at my edges, and I could show up, and I'm grounded here and now. And
it's really stellar the way you do this. And that's an example of some of the creative and kind of non-linear and out of the box kind of techniques we use that are all ultimately about finding that source within, like resourcing within our own being, our own connection to the universe, our own place in the universe, and our own like deeply resourced beingness, and then communicating transparency and somehow grappling with that really sincerely with utmost integrity and honesty, and somehow in that cauldron of alchemy, cauldron of authenticity, bam, we come out the other side. And what's on the other side? Let's describe that just to leave people with the positive side of things, because it is exquisitely challenging in those moments, but then the fruit is
so freaking worth it. Oh my god.
The yum.
Yeah.
The yum factor goes.
Like, we have this joke of like the kisses. What did they
We
started at like 11, 8?
Yeah, an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. Like the greatness of our kiss was like an 8. And over the years, we're like, oh my god, it's like a 15.
Totally.
Yeah, it's so damn good. Just the flavor of our kisses and the flavor of our
aliveness,
touch. Even the energy between us just feels steeped with this kind of quality of deliciousness and beauty.
Just awesome.
It is really awesome. So the fruit, as we would grapple and as we would stay honest and true to these processes together, and we've done that a number of times, it's like a flowering is occurring.
It feels like we're integrating the old wounds into presence and consciousness, and then so we could be more fully here in our flesh, in our bodies.
Yeah. And it is a process of embodiment, of deep, authentic embodiment. And that's a really good point, is that what's occurring is when you meet these situations of life that seem like they might be random or weird or a problem or a frustrating challenge, they ultimately are invitations to a real, authentic movement of something that was already in you. And it's a releasing of pockets of trauma that are embedded in our system. And when you relate in the way that we're doing and wanting to share with everybody, it becomes a holding environment for that deep kind of healing that just goes layer by layer by layer. And each layer that's healed allows for just a more natural way of being back in your being,
Aliveness,
which happens to
creativity.
be juicy and creative and embodied and settled. I think that's the main thing that's happened for me, is I just keep getting more and more grounded, more and more settled as a man, as a human being, as a living fleshy embodiment. I had a lot of the spiritual thing going before, but now through this way of relating and showing up over time, there's more and more of the fleshy part of me coming on board, not to mention the heart. So
and he was plenty alive and with a lot of fire to begin with, but now he's adding this layer of groundedness and settled and
in the body more,
in the
flesh, in a way where even this connoisseur says, "Oh my God, your flesh, your touch, it's yum."
Seriously.
She's always been the ultimate and yum when it comes to that. But anyway, there's our sharing, and we do want to unpack this a lot more, because obviously it's the nitty-gritty of all relationships, and everybody's up against this, whether you're in relationship or single still. It's like, how do we meet life? How do we meet this reality of what comes up for us in the challenging moments, which they inevitably do, and in such a way that it unfolds us, it blooms us, it brings out that more and more and more authentic aspect of us, which then just, I think, becomes a magnet for something beautiful. Whether you're already in a relationship or not, I think that's what becomes the authentic magnet for that which is in alignment for you, which is this new level of healing. So we want to offer a lot of fun and interactive and sweet. We have a lot of things we call games, intimacy games, that are really easy and wonderful for people to dive in.
And you don't have to be polyamorous to freaking enjoy.
No, not at all. This is just,
that's not an edge we're going to ask you to play unless you want to.
It's for human beings who want
more
satisfying, fulfilling relationships.
Amen.
In whatever ways authentic and true for you. That's the idea. Hallelujah.
So it'll be an epic love evening sometime in the middle of November.
Yeah.
It'll be lovely, and we hope you join us there.
Yeah. And I hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.